Welcome to day 2, Wednesday, the 16th of November, 2022. It's day 2 of this program. It is the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit with the theme Optimizing Investment Opportunities for National Development. Day 1 was certainly informative, exciting, and revealing. Day 2 will be that and much more. Thank you very much for arriving early. For those who have, we do have some of our distinguished and special guests in the holding room, and they will be joining us in a bit. My name is Dr. Tokwe Ojeme, your anchor, and will also be your anchor today. It's an honor to do this. We will be starting and begin by doing some recognitions. We are glad we have with us here distinguished honorable commissioners from various parts of the nation and different states. Some were here yesterday and some arrived earlier, and some are also here with us today. We're also glad we have focal persons, state focal officers, who are also around and here today. I will be introducing them as I have the list, and those others that may not hear your name, be sure that as soon as the list comes to me, we will certainly recognize them. From Borno State, we have the Diaspora Focal Point Officer, Dr. Nancy Mbaya. Thank you very much for being here. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Nancy. There she is. Thank you. We have from Ekiti State, Diaspora Focal Point Officer, Mr. Femi Odere is also here with us. Please, a round of applause for him. I saw him a few moments ago. We have Ambassador E.A. Saki from Gombe State. He is the Diaspora Focal Point Officer for Gombe State. Please, a round of applause for him. And we have Mr. Moses Dauda Mekomo from Taraba State. He is the Diaspora Focal Point Officer. Mrs. Sarah Areo David, FCT Diaspora Focal Point Officer, is also here. Please, a round of applause for her. Thank you very much. And from Delta State, we have the Diaspora Focal Point Officer, Dr. Genevieve Mordi. Thank you very much for being here. I want to recognize Honorable Commissioner for Energy, Mines, and Mineral Resources from Ondo State, Engineer Razak Obey is here with us. Please, a round of applause for Engineer Razak. From Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry, and Cooperative Services, Honorable Lola Fagbemi is also here. Thank you very much for being here. Honorable Commissioner for Culture, Tourism, Ondo State, Otumba Wale Akinlosotu is also here with us. Thank you very much for being here. We have Honorable Commissioner for Education, Ondo State, Honorable Olufemi Agagu. Thank you very much for being here, Honorable. We have Honorable Commissioner for Information from Ondo State, Mrs. Bamidele Ademola Olateju. Thank you very much for being here. Honorable Commissioner for Agriculture in Ondo State is Honorable Olayato Aribo. Thank you very much for being here. Special Advisor on Public and Intergovernmental Relations, Ondo State, Dr. Olubunmi Ademosu is also here with us. Thank you very much. We have Chairman Ondipa, Ondo State, Mr. Gbenga Badejo, here with us. Thank you very much, Mr. Gbenga, for being here. Special Advisor on Entrepreneurship, Ondo State, Dr. Sami Smart Francis is also here with us. Thank you, Dr. Smart, for being here. And we have Ondo State Head of Service, Pastor Kayode Ogundele. Pastor Kayode, we appreciate you, Head of Service. Thank you for being here. We also have the Special Advisor on Transport, Honorable Toby Ogunleye. Thank you very much, Honorable Ogunleye, for being here. And Special Advisor on Environment, Mr. Oyeniyi Oseni is also here with us. Thank you, and thank you very much indeed for being here. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, we had a very revealing session yesterday. And first on the list today, before we begin, is the recap, which will come to you very shortly. But preceding the recap, we'll play you some videos of the pictures yesterday, and you will hear what they had to say, indeed showing that our country, Nigeria, is blessed. We have pictures from all over the country and some from the diaspora pitching their businesses yesterday. I will now allow the media to give us a feel of some of those videos we saw yesterday. The media.
Nonet Oil Palm Plantations and Milling Nigeria Limited is a trailblazer in the oil palm plantation and milling business. It has procured over 15,000 hectares of land and has currently cultivated 2,000 hectares of land in what is fast becoming the Nonet Palm Estate. The Palm Estate is Nonet Oil's audacious plan to optimize the palm oil value chain to produce palm oil, vegetable oil, palm kernel cake, among others, at the new processing plant in Ngwo. At Nonet, we encourage investors and partners to key into the rewarding venture by being a part owner of a portion of the plantation, which Nonet will take care of for them, buy the fruits of them, and see to its nurturing and management. Because we believe in the highly lucrative nature of the oil palm business, we encourage you to invest with at least 2 million naira spread over 3 years for ease of payment. At Nonet, we are committed to bringing about a progressive revolution in the oil palm subsector. Join us in the value chain where there is no waste. Instead, all raw materials find a way to becoming finished products. We call on all our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and all stakeholders who are interested in the palm oil value chain to take advantage of this opportunity to invest in a business that will not depreciate as the introgress palm species start fruiting in 3 years. The Chief Operating Officer of Nonet Oil Palm Plantation and Milling Nigeria Limited, Chief Eric Mokedike Ozongu, throws more light on this venture.
My name is Chief Eric Mokedike Ozongu. I am the Chief Operating Officer of Nonet Oil Palm Plantation and Milling Nigeria Limited. We are into complete value chain of oil palm, from nursery to milling and marketing. So we are actually, developing plantations Presently, the plantation we are doing is non-net in a non-net palm estate. It is in Ihuonya. Ihuonya is in Amansiodo, Ore, in the Eziagu local government area, where we are presently working on 15,000 hectares of oil palm plantation. And we are not doing it alone. We have investors that has put in their money, investors within this country and outside the shores of this country, because they know the importance of oil palm. And it's a win-win situation for oil palm. There is nothing in the palm that is not useful. It's very profitable. This is what gave us a lot of money, in the 60s and in the 50s, until the advent of oil boom, But we are trying to rekindle what gave us money, most especially the eastern region, being the fastest growing economy then. We want to bring that back.
Nonet Oil Palm Plantation and Milling Nigeria Limited is poised and ready to take you by the hand on this journey. Are you coming?
Day. Daniel Duru from.
Hi, my name is Favor. I am here to review to you how a school of successful farmers can be able to improve the productivity of catfish farmers. We are requesting for $400,000 for.
Hello, my name is Ben Aripo. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Brain Training and Development Centers in Nigeria, located in Abuja, Oregun in Ikeja, Lagos, Lekki Phase 1, Lagos, and Port Harcourt. So we have 4 centers currently operating. I'm here to ask you for an investment of 200 million naira for an equity participation in the business of 10%. So for your 200 million naira, which you would put into our business, we would give you an equity of 10% of the business. What do we want to use these funds for? We want to expand our current reach. I have mentioned we are currently in 4 places. We want to add Kano to the park. And what are we going to do in these places? What are we going to do with this expansion? The expansion simply is to set up one-stop centers. We have been operating this business for 10 years and have come to realize that there are parents who have children at home who are unable to go to regular school because they can't cope. Some of them have been thrown out of school because they can't cope. So with the brain training program, we want to have an all-inclusive center, which we call the One-Stop Learning Center, where parents can send their children or bring their children to come. They'll go through tutoring in one side. They will go through brain training exercises that improve their cognitive skills on the other side. And then, of course, they would have psychosocial support for those of them who are struggling with attention deficiency disorder and hyperactivity. So in that one-stop place, we will have this all-inclusive services provided, and then we would ensure that we expand to Kano particularly. At the moment, we're not in Kano, but want to include Kano in the park. Now, if the business is very viable, because in the last 10 years we have run it on a micro level, but we want to take it to a medium and large scale level. That's why we are asking for a 200 million investment, which would essentially devote to using to expand, establishing in those places, buying equipment, paying for licenses, and doing more that can meet the needs of our teeming population. As you know, there are 10 million people who are out of school. Of those 10 million, about half of them, or 50% of them, are due to cognitive skill challenges. And cognitive skills are behind every learning struggle, When a child struggles to learn in school as a result of dyslexia, attention deficit disorder, dysgraphia, name it, it's all due to cognitive skills problem. So we want to be able to help solve this problem and put 50% of the children who are out of school back in school. And that's why we are asking for your investment of 200 million naira. Out of that 200 million naira, we would be giving you 10% equity investment in the business, and you share in our profit. Thank you very much. I'll wait for your questions.
Nairaxi is an intermodal, integrated, smart mobility solution for all Nigerians. We created an app called Nairaxi. With this app, we're integrating your bus networks, your taxi networks, your tricycle, your train networks, in the sense that there's something for everybody on the mobile application.
Our main target is the mass mobility and logistics market. We are working with the government and our esteemed partners in championing a nationwide adoption of an integrated and intermodal transport solution for Nigerians.
Joe Idehaloise is my name, representing the Honorable Minister of State for Transportation. If there is anything that the Ministry of Transportation desires, it is the intervention in the road transport system. And what the solution provider, Nairaxi is a solution provider. What this solution provider has brought in is what the ministry has been addressing or trying to address, particularly in the past 3-4 years. So at a time like this, that Nairaxi is coming in, I think it will help the system, the ministry will begin to see improvement, or the country rather, will begin to see improvement in the road transport system.
So why did we create Nairaxi? We know that Nigeria is spending over 6 trillion naira on the fuel subsidy, in the sense that the government is trying to subsidize the cost of transportation, the cost of logistics for Nigerians. So imagine if the government can invest 600 billion naira, which is just like 10% of the current fuel subsidy cost. Imagine the impact it will make on our road transportation infrastructure, getting them integrated, making it reliable, making it convenient, making it safe, because this is the reason why people don't take public transportation. So the goal is simple: bring the cost of transportation down, make it integrated, connect everybody of any income cadre. You could book as low as your tricycle on Nairaxi mobile application. We're also going to be employing smart technology, for example, renewable energy. Hopefully, we've had meetings with NADDC, Nigerian Automotive Design Council. They created the first electric car in Nigeria, Mr. Jelani Aliyu. We've had series of meetings with the DG, and we hope that one day we could have electric taxis running in most major cities in Nigeria. We're also hoping to retrofit most of our buses with to run on CNG to bring the cost down. We're also hoping that rideshare becomes a thing, carpooling, just to get Nigerians to drop their cars. Because if you have a robust, beautiful, convenient public transportation system in your country, you don't need to drive. Go to London, you can use the train network, you can use the black cab. Go to New York, you can use the famous yellow taxi in New York City. You drop your car, you hop on a taxi, you get to where you are going. Go to South Korea, their bus network is one of the best. Go to China, they have Didi, ride share, ride hailing is part of all those things that they bring on board, and they make life very, very easy and convenient for everybody. So this is the vision for the brand, and we hope that you would see where we are going with our organization. In any way you want, you can reach out to us on our website, www.nairaxi.ng. Go there, read some of the creative things that we have, The on-demand logistics is also an arm of Nairaxi, because logistics and electronic commerce, you can buy things on the app, you could send your parcel on the app, because all these have like a very, very vertical and horizontal integration that has to do with mobility, electronic commerce, and logistics, and this drives an economy.
Thank you very much. Thank you. We just took some of the pitches we saw yesterday, and I'm glad to announce that we have our dear distinguished chief host, chairman, chief executive officer, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCAM, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabirerewa, officer of the Niger OON. Please a round of applause for her. Thank you very much, and we're glad to have you. We now all rise, shall we, as we take the national anthem. We'll sing the anthem after two. 1, 2. Arise, O compatriot. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome. It's day 2, Wednesday, the 16th of November. It is 2022, the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit with the theme Optimizing Investment Opportunities for National Development. This and more we've seen since this started yesterday. And today we're glad that we have once again with us, like yesterday, very distinguished Nigerians who are doing their bit to see that we optimize investment opportunities for our nation, Nigeria. Let me announce that we're glad to have here His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, represented by the Deputy Governor, His Excellency Honorable Lucky Misan Ayedatiwa. Please a round of applause for him. Thank you very much, Honorable, for being here. We're also glad to have His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ekiti State, represented here today by the Special Advisor to the Governor on Budget and Planning, Ekiti State, Mr. Oyeniyi Adebayo, here with us. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are also glad to have with us, if he's not here, I guess he will be joining us, the Honorable Minister of State for Transport, Prince Ademola Adeguroye. I'm sure he should be joining us very soon. But we have here with us His Excellency, the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Sri Balasubramanian, here with us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Namaste. Thank you for being here, sir. And of course, I told you earlier, we have our own all-Nigerian. She's Nigeria everywhere she goes, proudly Nigerian all the time. Chief host, chairman, chief executive officer, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCAM, our own Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa, Officer of the Niger OON. Thank you very much. Good to see you once again, ma. Thank you for being here. We're glad to have our royal fathers dotting this room with their gracious presence. Kabiyesi Olubaka of Oka, the Oba Yusuf Adebori Adeleye, Officer of the Niger. He is here with us. Kabiyesi, thank you very much for being here. We're also glad to have the Olugbo of Ugbo Kingdom, represented by Otumba Adeyemi, is here with us. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate you. Director General of the African Development Bank, AFDB, Nigeria Country Department, Mr. Lamin Barrow is here with us. Thank you very much for being here. We also recognize Permanent Secretary, Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCA, Mr. Olusade Adeshola. Thank you very much for being here. Director General, Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa, DTCA, Ambassador Rabiu Dungari, MNI. Thank you very much for being here, DG. We appreciate you. Executive Director and Chief Executive Officer, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, NEPC, Dr. Ezra Yakusak. I guess he will be joining us. Thank you very much. We also recognize Director General, Chief Executive. Okay, he's not here, but hopefully he will also join us. That's National Biosafety Management Agency. We recognize our guest speaker. He was here moments ago. I'm not seeing him now, but I'm sure he will be also joining us. Mr. Chris Brooks will join us, I'm sure. Secretary, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM, Engineer Dr. Sule Yakubu Basi is also here with us. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. We recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora, Ondo State, Prince Jacob Adegboye Olugbesi, and all other commissioners here with us. We've recognized them earlier, but in addition, we have Honorable Wale Akinteriwa, Honorable Commissioner of Finance. Thank you very much for being here. Dr. Mrs. Oluwawumi Ilawole, Special Advisor to Mr. Governor on Education. Thank you. Alhaji Takuru Amidu, Honorable Commissioner of Fiscal Planning and Urban Development. Thank you for being here. Mr. Tolu Adegbe, Chairman, Ondo State Internal Revenue Service. Honorable Boye Olugbesi, Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations. Mrs. Lola Aminda, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations. And we also have Mr. Akinola Fumi, that's Mrs. Akinola Fumi, who is Admin Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Ondo State. Someone said the whole of Ondo State is here. Who did they leave at home? But Arakuri is holding the home strong. Please a round of applause for Ondo State, Southwest Nigeria. Thank you, and thank you again. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, also in this room are very special people who've been here yesterday and are still here today, and one of them is seated right beside you. Tell them you are welcome. Tell somebody you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're all welcome. We begin with a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We've already shown you some of the videos that we saw yesterday, but Miss Mary David, NDIS Secretariat, will be doing us the honors of taking us through that in a bit. She's making her way, and I'm sure she'll get this done. She is a time manager per excellence, and I'm hoping she can get this done in 5 minutes. Please welcome Miss Mary David, NDIS Secretariat, with a round of applause.
Thank you, Brother Tokpe. You've been amazing since yesterday. Please allow me to stand on existing protocol, and I want to, however, I have to say a special welcome to Mommy Diaspora, our big sister, and our chief host. Mommy, thank you for having us here again and for just always welcoming us back home. She's always as radiant as ever. So I had to call her out especially. But good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming again to the fifth outing. We call this NDIS 5, and it's really been an amazing experience since yesterday. I'm not going to tell you everything that happened because we captured all of that in a video, but this represents a simple recap, just so you can get connected to where we're starting today. So the fifth Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit kicked off yesterday, November the 15th, and this is a hybrid, which means we had a number of people joining us online by Zoom, as well as there were over 400 people in the room yesterday. And we had special dignitaries in the room. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Chris Brooks, was here bright and early. He's the Director General, and then we had the Director General, Nigerian Maritime Safety Agency, NIMANSA, Dr. Bashir Yusuf Jima, Managing Director, EcoBank PLC, Managing Director, Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, the Director General, African Development Bank, Chairman, Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement and NDLEA, General Buba Mawa, represented by Victoria Bassi, Professor Mani Anegbunam, Chairman CEO of AfriHub LLC, as well as the Chief Host and CEO Nigerian Diaspora Commissioner, that's our Honorable Mami Abike Dabiri. Our Mami Diaspora was represented by the Secretary of the Commission, Engineer Dr. Sule Yakubu Bassi. Now I'm going to take you through a few of the things that happened. The event commenced at 9:45 a.m. and it was commenced by the rendition of the national anthem. So we rendered the first verse and then prayed the second verse. And then we had a welcome address by our very own NDIS Summit Coordinator and Chairman and the Board of Trustee, Nigerian Diaspora Summit Initiative, Dr. Miss Badewa Williams gave the welcome address. And Dr. Williams expressed great pleasure in welcoming everyone back to NDIS this year, 2022. With the theme of this year being Nigerian Diaspora maximizing investment opportunities for national development. She noted that the event, which began in 2018, was really aimed at exposing the diaspora to opportunities here in Nigeria for them to come and invest in their motherland. And she added that with a view of achieving the set goal, and the efforts have been channeled to structuring the NDIS as a platform where diaspora investment can meet credible business owners. So we go through a process of vetting the business owners. Dr. Badewa also noted that in the words of the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osibanjo, that NDIS has grown to be recognized as the surest platform for attracting foreign direct investment. This is very evident in the growing number of participants at NDIS and the large number of success stories that we have recorded over the years. The summit started with a recorded participation of 400 participants in 2018 and 700 participants in 2019. And she stated that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the summit in 2022 was held virtually, and we had over 1,000 participants joining virtually. That was in 2020, excuse me. And we also had physical presence, but most of it was online. As a matter of fact, I just wanted to stop to say that as at yesterday, we have started getting requests from the investors in the room asking us about some of the pitches that they heard and listened to yesterday. Dr. Badewa highlighted some of the success stories that we have recorded over the years, and she talked particularly about two of the tech businesses that were selected to showcase their products and sponsored to the Dubai 2020 fair as a result of their pitches at the summit. And then she talked about the Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency, ONDIPA, which received a number of expressions of interest in international distribution and marketing of their chocolates, and we tasted that chocolate last year. And then the Village Seed Ventures, powered by Dr. Collins Nweke, which approved a grant of 500,000 naira to 5 of the selected foundations that pitched during last year's summit. This is just a few of the success stories that you will get to hear about later. And Dr. Badewa also appreciated Dr. Chris Brooks, who was here bright and early and stayed throughout yesterday, and he's here again. We are very, very glad to have you, Dr. Brooks. So in conclusion, the speaker, Dr. Badewa, extended her appreciation to other partners of the NDIS, which includes the NIPC, which is the Nigerian Investment Promotion Council, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, NEPC, the Bank of Industry, BOI, the Corporate Affairs Commission, CSC, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, and the Central Bank of Nigeria, to name some of them. She also appreciated the current administration, and particularly the Vice President of Nigeria, who has always participated and declared the event open since the inception of this event in 2018. Dr. Badewa urged the investors and business owners present in the room and at the and online to give unwavering support to the NDIS in order to attract more diaspora direct investment towards boosting our economy, because there's no place like home and nobody's going to build our country except us, whether you be in the diaspora or locally. But this was a special message to the people in diaspora. And then the other thing that happened, which was a big deal, was that we had a number of goodwill messages. And so the gathering immediately proceeded into the presentation of goodwill messages, which were received from notable personalities, partners, and investors to at the 5th Diaspora Summit. And they were as follows. We had the Chief Executive Officer, Founder, Nigeria Diaspora Direct Investment Summit, NDDIS, Dr. Chief Bimbo Roberts Folayon, joined us online, and he acknowledged the efforts of the chairperson of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, and for all her efforts and how she has hosted even the NDDIS and towards and in their partnership in their own summits that they've had away in England. So Dr. Falahan extended appreciation and regards to Mama Diaspora. Dr. Falahan noted that some of the beneficiaries of the several efforts of the NDDIS include 200 agricultural projects in Kano, off-grid power and water investments, and about 12.9 million investment into Jare. And then there was 2,800 farmers in Jigawa benefited from carbon credits. The other person that we had a goodwill message from the Managing Director of Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and he expressed his pride and the pride of his bank in partnering with Nigerians in Diaspora Commission in establishing linkages with Nigerians in the diaspora. And he emphasized that the FMBN is in partnership with reputable stakeholders with a view of actualizing the diaspora mortgage scheme. And then after the goodwill messages, we went into the pitching session, which was really it took most of our time yesterday because we were listening to different pitchers pitch their messages and pitch their businesses, and that was a very good interaction. And the sessions the different sectors that we had businesses pitching from were the ICT sector, which is technology, and we had agribusiness. We had about 12 people from agribusiness, and we had education and professional services, real estate and infrastructure, health, and the creative, sport, and entertainment. And then we made a tour of the exhibition center outside, and we had several of our sponsors had their booths at the exhibition center. We also had some schools Dr. Bada Arosat Foundation, which is one of my favorites, Vantage Point Academy, and a host of others. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity for recapping. I hope this has been helpful in terms of understanding a few of what occurred yesterday, and we welcome you to connect to today's, the second day of the 5th version of Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit. Thank you again, and have a great day.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Marie David. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me announce that we have the representative of the EU head of mission, Nigerian ECOWAS, represented here by Eleni Zezelido. Thank you very much for being here. Hope I got your name correct. Thank you for being here. I also want to quickly recognize the chairman CEO of NDLEA, General Buba Marwa, represented by Mrs. Victoria Egbesa, Director Planning and Research. Thank you for being here. The chairman, Nigerian Diaspora Investment Trust Fund, Mrs. Oluyemisi Ibrahim, is also here. We appreciate you. Right now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to have the welcome opening speech today on day 2, and it's by the chairman, Chief Executive Officer of Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, NIDCOM. Please welcome our distinguished Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa, Officer of the Niger OON. A round of applause is appropriate.
I wish I heard your voice.
Already have it.
But let me do the female version. Thank you, our brother, our consistent MC. Thank you very much. Good morning, Your Excellencies. The governor of Ogun State, represented by my brother, the deputy governor, the governor of Ondo State, our main state for this summit. Camera, can you move a bit so I can see? Thank you. So Ondo, thank you so much. You were here last year and you saw results. I'm sure this year you'll see even bigger results with our distinguished people like Dr. Brooks, African Chamber of Commerce, AFDP is here, EU is here, we have the Indian High Commissioner here, and a whole lot of people joining online. So thank you very much, Ondo, for coming to market your state here. Let me welcome His Excellency, the Governor of Ekiti State, represented by the Head of Service. You're most welcome. Your Excellency, our brother, you're a Nigerian, I told you. The Indian High Commissioner, you're looking around, it's you I'm talking about. When I said you're a Nigerian, the Indian High Commissioner, thank you very much. We've been partnering with India. We're learning a lot from you in terms of how you engage your diaspora. And I'm glad the partnership is going stronger and stronger. Dr. Lamin just walked in, AFDP country rep in Nigeria. Dr. Lamin, let them see you. Again, AFDP has been a strong partner with the Diaspora Commission, so we're glad to be working with you. Our real father, Eka Rosa, Kadekwelori Kibata. Thank you very much for being here with us, our royal father. Thank you very much. My brother, DTCA DG, again, we've been working together for a long time. Thank you for the partnership and support, and thank you for being here, even before me. Thank you very much for being here. Dr. Chris Brooks, all the way from the United States of America. We've been having conversations with Dr. Brooks. I'm seeing him for the first time. And during the closing ceremony, I'll be saying something, but I'll start now. Some Nigerians in America said, oh, we're not coming again, because America said, don't come to Nigeria. Dr. Chris Brooks said, I'm coming home. I'm getting on my plane. Ain't no stopping me now. And Dr. Brooks is here. He believes in Nigeria, he believes in the continent, and is one of those Americans who believe that this is the motherland or fatherland or whatever we want to call it, and they want to come and invest in Nigeria. Dr. Brooks, you're most welcome. I hope you've been having fun. You're going to have a whole lot more than that. Our diaspora focal persons, I can see my sister from FCT. You're most welcome. Thank you very much. From Cross River, my brother from Cross River. My brother from Ondo State, Thank you very much. And of course, Dr. Mrs. Badewa. Is that Dr. Badewa? No. Oh, okay. Sorry, the camera was covered. You're most welcome, madam. Then where's Dr. Badewa? Thank you very much for, I know you'll be working up and for putting this together. Let me welcome my sister, Elena from the EU. Elena, should I expose you? Elena got her legs broken, but she said, I'm coming here no matter what is happening with my legs. Thank you, Elena, for being here. Dr. Sule Yakubu Bassi, our able secretary. Thank you very much for all you've been doing. Let me just, the light is shining on me, so I can see more of the people there. Mrs. Ibrahim, you're most welcome. Thank you very much. And is that Kachi? Anyway, let me stand by all. The light is on me. So thank you very much. Who is sitting next to Ms. Ibrahim? Oh, thank you very much, representative of General Marwa, the most hardworking public servant in Nigeria today. Next to NIDCOM. Thank you very much. So I pay my respect and compliments to everybody, and of course, all of you participants, those of you online and those of you here, you're most welcome. Thank you very much for being here. I'm sorry I couldn't be here yesterday for the opening, because as you know, I was in Jos for the flag off of our campaign. I just flew in this morning. Thank you very much. So let me just thank all of you for being here, and I want to thank His Excellency, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who has always been part of this summit since inception. Today, there will be a courtesy visit to him by some members of the team. So he'll still be talking to us, and then particularly to Ondo State, so that he can hear firsthand from you what you really want to do. So we'll be doing that a bit later in the day. So I want to thank Professor Yomi Osinbajo for his support to the summit all through the year since we started in 2018. So I want to recognize the presence of all our guests in this house and commend all of you for all you've been doing and working hard towards ensuring the development of the nation's economy. I want to commend the Nigerians in the diaspora for their enormous contributions to the development of our dear nation, Nigeria, most especially in the quest of the federal government to go far in repositioning the economy. There is a need to partner with the diaspora in achieving these goals, and that is why the summit, with this year's theme being optimizing investment opportunities for national development, is actually very, very appropriate, because it creates that avenue and platform of partnership between the government and the diaspora in attracting investments into local businesses and thus enhancing foreign direct investment in Nigeria. We've said it again, we'll say it again and again and again. We have to move from talking about foreign direct investment subsequently to diaspora direct investment. Our diaspora are key. They are the best anywhere in the world, and we'll soon be moving into that. The diaspora is an economic factor. There must be an investment factor in Nigeria. This summit, ladies and gentlemen, since its inception in 2018, has been living up to its expectations of attracting investments into local businesses in Nigeria with bounteous success stories. Time will not permit me to list all of them, but we have all of them documented. But a major focus on Ondo State and the numerous investment opportunities it has to offer. The Federal Mortgage Bank's National Housing Fund, which we've been working upon. Honorable Terab, thank you for driving that with Mortgage Bank. The Diaspora Mortgage Scheme, which is going to be flagged up very soon in a global audience. I think we're thinking of the UK. Soon after this event is going to happen at the end of November, both in Nigeria and the United Kingdom. There's also the EcoBank's Rapid Transfer application, which is meant to ease remittances from the diaspora community to Nigeria, and is available on our website for people to access and have cheaper and faster means of remittances to the country. Beyond the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit, beyond this, the Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit has over the years been expanding in participants' network, showcasing their products and services to target audiences such as the diaspora investors, sponsors, and government actors. Besides, it has been providing pro bono coaching and mentoring services to pitchers on how best to sell their businesses and attract investments. This goes to show that the summit is not just keen on attracting direct investment, but ensures that the capacities of businesses, local businesses in particularly, especially those that participate in the summit, are significantly enhanced. And I think we have some of them here. Maybe they've spoken to you yesterday, but I know that we have a few of them that have also, we'll be talking about their success stories. I don't know whether Shores is here. Maybe. Oh, okay. He spoke yesterday. Okay. At least I remember that is one of our success stories. Congratulations, Shores, and thank you very much. When I say Nigerian young guys, our young men are amazing. You represent one of them. Hardworking, determined, passionate, and saying, I'll never give up. I know what you've gone through to get this far. Thank you. So before I conclude, I want to commend again Dr. Chris Brooks, the co-founder and managing partner of the Brown Venture Group. And by the way, I think you all know he's partly Nigerian. Did you tell them yesterday? He's partly Nigerian. His DNA is 99% Nigerian. But Dr. Cruz is partly Nigerian, and he has graced this occasion this morning, coming all the way from America, despite the warnings about the fact that we're all going to get bombed and be driven out. Dr. Brooks, thank you very much for being here. And you're here to add significant value to this event. And I'm sure you'll find out by the time you leave here that it is worth your while and that of your partners. Erica Gama is probably online joining us, and we hope to continue to work with every one of you. On this note, I would like to encourage Nigerians in the diaspora and other diaspora organizations to emulate the path of such personalities as Dr. Brooks, who has remembered to return home and contribute his vast achievements to our dear country, Nigerians. Can we appreciate him and his team once more? As Nigerians, both at home and in the diaspora, we should always be conscious of the fact that no one can develop Nigeria like Nigerians. We must have faith in ourselves, we must have faith in our country, and I know that together, Nigerians at home, working with Nigerians in the diaspora, we will achieve results and we will build our country. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission and the Nigeria Diaspora Support Initiative, as we've always stressed, this is a private sector-led initiative. It's not left to government. We believe that the private sector should drive the economy, should drive a lot of things, and we're glad that we're working in that regard. So NDSI team, all of you, a big appreciation for you once more. Clap for NDSI. And I also want to thank our diaspora focal officers. Some of them are in this room today. And what we're saying is that when investments come into Nigeria, they're not coming to Abuja. They're going to states, like Ondo State today. Last time we had Nasarawa, we've had Kebbi, we've had Bono, and people are going to those states to see what they can do. So investment is not about talking and just say, gather and come to Abuja. How do we take them to states? How do we take them to the rural areas? And that is the role people like Dr. Brooks will be playing, and the U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Sajo Madu, who will be speaking to us today, right, is about the grassroots participation. How do you take businesses to the local communities? How can that market woman be able to have a business where she can fend for herself and then train more people? If everybody employs 20 more people, we're not going to have people trying to cross the desert to go to Europe to seek for jobs that are not there. There's no point leaving Nigeria, you don't have a job, then you go abroad through irregular means and you still don't have the job. So I believe that what we are doing here is about getting to the real people at the grassroots and seeing how investments get to the states and the local governments in Nigeria. So once again, welcome to this summit. I still look forward to seeing you, all of you, at the closing ceremony. And then, of course, at the dinner tomorrow, we're going to party, and we're going to really have a good time. Thank you very much for coming, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for our all-Nigerian CEO Chairman NITCOM, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabirerewa, OON. Thank you very much. Bye. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I'll take a moment to appreciate and recognize all our sponsors and partners who have played their bits in ensuring the success of this program. Sponsors and partners, and they include Zenith Bank. Please, a round of applause for them. Zenith Bank, Echo Bank. We also have the Federal Mortgage Bank. We have the Bank of Industry. We have NEPC, Nigeria Investments Promotion Commission. We have ASO Savings and Loans. We also have, of course, Ondo State. And we have NITCOM and Nigeria Diaspora Summit Initiative, media partners, and all other partners. We sincerely appreciate you. Our online audience, thank you very much for being there as always and being part of this. We'll now quickly take some goodwill messages. And first on the call, we will be taking goodwill message from the Honorable Commissioner for Regional Integration and Diaspora, Ondo State. Please welcome Prince Jacob Adeboye Olugbesi. A round of applause for him.
Mr. M, sir, I think my name is Joseph Ologbese, not Jacob. I'm standing on already well-established protocol. It is my honor to welcome the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Oluyemi Oluleke Oshibanjo, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Grand Commander of the Nigeria Order, to this event, the 5th Nigerian Diaspora Summit, TAG Develop Ondo, organized by the Nigerian Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, and the Nigerian Diaspora Initiative, in collaboration with Ondo State Government. It is my pleasure to welcome very specially my own governor, the governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Commander of Order of Niger, ably represented by the Deputy Governor, Honorable Lucky Orimison Ayedatiwa, and his colleagues from Ekiti State, His Excellency, Mr. Biodun Ayobami Oyebanji, who is ably represented by the Special Advisor on Budget and Planning, Mr. Oyeniyi Adebayo, for throwing his weight behind the actualization of the long overdue proposed Ondo DC port at this crucial time. I equally welcome the Chief of Staff to the State Government of Ondo State, Chief Ali, and all honorable members of the Executive Council of Ondo State, and all our delegations from Ondo State, include our traditional fathers. I must appreciate in particular the Chairman and the CEO of the NITCOM, Honorable Abike Dabirerewa, Lady Diaspora, for support to facilitate the establishment of NITCOM Annex Office in Akure, which is the first of its kind in Southwest to project Ondo State. To project Ondo State as a business hub of the entire Southwest, excluding Lagos, for self-reliance through the DAND Commission agenda for Western Nigeria and the Diaspora Investment Initiative and Ondo State Development Investment Promotion Agency, ODIPA. I warmly welcome the MD of Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority, Engineer Saliu Ahmed, who believes strongly that Ondo DC Port will also put Edo State in the business advantage and promote industrial growth going on in the state. It is important I appreciate the effort of the Director General for Performance, Project Implementation and Monitoring Unit, PRIMO, Babajide Akeredolu, for synchronizing the activities of the 4 MDAs of government in Ondo State to achieve a common goal at reducing costs that led to the business summit tagged Develop Ondo 2.0, with the continuation of the summit to be held at International Event Center, Dome, Akure, from 12th to 15th of December 2022. I use the chairman of the committee for the business summit, the Honorable Commissioner for Energy, Mine and Mineral Resources, Engineer Razak Obe, as a point of contact to welcome all members of the committee for this occasion. I'd like to appreciate the presence of Mr. Babatunde Faleke, who is reading the keynote address on designing Ondo Port for export business of the nation, prepared by the MD CEO of the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, Abuja, Dr. Ezra Yakuza, who is unavailable absent. I also appreciate our guest speaker, respectively, the DG CEO of Nigerian Biosafety Management Agency, Abuja, Dr. Rufus E. Ebigba, and the principal partner of Shola Ije & Co. Solidarity Chamber, Broad Street, Lagos, Ambassador Shola Joseph Iji, and the Minister of State for Transport, Prince Ademola Adegoroye. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the aim of the summit, which is investment opportunity in Ondo State, was deliberately come in line with the vision and redeem agenda of the present administration. Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Odunayo Akeredolu, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, JR2 was driving the key business potential for social development, and especially when technology is fast moving ahead of our corridor as a means of revenue and our forest is unstable. Your Excellency, projecting and designing Ondo DC port for export business of the nation will not only balance the forest market, but strengthen our naira. Also create a lot of employment opportunity for our young teeming youth in the entire Southwest region. The summit is therefore aimed at positioning Ondo State in the investment destination among the top 3, the most competitive state in Nigeria in terms of accelerated growth, increase in economic opportunity, improving quality of life for citizenry. It is also aimed at promoting investment opportunity and fostering synergy as well as a partnership between the government institutions and the private sectors, who are the critical players of the social economic development of the nation. It is for this reason the Ondo State Ministry of Regional Integration and Diaspora Relations was created with the objective of providing strategic advice and support for government in supporting economic development and attracting investors within and in diaspora. It will interest you to know that proper engagement of our diaspora will drive the economic growth of this country. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I'm also confident that investors and businesses will leave this summit with increased knowledge about the investment knowledge, about opportunity for investment in Ondo State with great optimism for the future. As a government, we are looking forward for the resolution for this summit for implementation. I wish all out a free-inch summit. Thank you for your attention and God bless.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A round of applause for Prince Joseph Logwesi. Thank you very much. We move on as we invite Director General Directorate of Technical Cooperation in Africa. Please welcome from DTCA, Ambassador Rabiu Dungari MNI.
Good morning. I want to stand on the already established existing protocol. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed my pleasure to deliver these brief remarks on the occasion of this 5th Annual Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit 2022 with the theme Optimizing Investment Opportunities for National Development. I must first of all applaud the dogged, selfless effort of the Chairman, Chief Executive Officer, Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Dr. Abike Dabiri Erewa, OON, the organizers, NITCOM, and the Nigeria Diaspora Summit Initiative, including staff of the DTCA, which is my Directorate and the entire team towards ensuring that Nigerians in the diaspora have confidence in investing in the country and reintegrating into the Developed Nigeria project. This is what this annual Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit represents, where Nigerians in the diaspora can actually participate and share business ideas as well as networking that would bring about economic and the national development. This is perhaps an auspicious occasion to further highlight the contributions of Nigerians in diaspora. In 2021, Nigerian diaspora home remittances was $20 billion, which was 4 times the FDA and contributed to about 6.1% of our national annual GDP. This is a huge economic factor for development, which needs to be harnessed in every way possible for the country's development. The Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit plays a big role in facilitating this by encouraging investment into productive ventures that not only grow and diversify the economy, but also provides and enhance the acquisition of skills and capacities. Why this summit is of such importance is that it is taking place at a time when our country and the whole of Africa has to contend with the 3 C's. And what are the 3 C's? Climate change, the after effects of COVID-19, and conflicts in the form of insurgency perpetrated by mostly non-state actors. Writing in the current issue of the Foreign Affairs magazine, Mo Ibrahim, a wealthy African businessman, says, and I quote, "Illicit financial flows out of Africa, mispricing of exports and imports, and the shifting of profits within multinational companies cost African countries more than $88 billion every year between 2008 and 2017, according to one estimate by the United Nations. That exceeds the $52 billion in annual international aid the continent received during those years, raising the question of who was funding whom. Today, Africa still exists, and by extension, Nigeria, at the margins of the global order, largely excluded from international institutions and treated as a basket case to be fixed. I also need to quote one of the foremost African statesmen, late Kofi Annan, who says, "Africa is a rich continent with many, many poor people." Africa, as we know, geologically speaking, is the richest continent on earth. But in this continent, we have the most wretched of the earth, unfortunately. So it is really time. This is an opportunity for us to see what we can do for Africa, for Nigeria. It is at this forum, it is at forums like this that we reflect, strategize, and decide what to do for ourselves and our country. The opportunities in our country, and indeed Africa, are huge, and the talents of Nigerians in the diaspora and at home is legendary. We must not be blind to such opportunities that are so often seized and cornered by big investors from elsewhere. I would like to give 2 examples here. I am from Yobe State in the northern part of the country. And we grew some of the best sesame seeds, sesame. And you know, sesame is used in so many industries. What we have is a situation where a multinational, we are not begrudging them, a huge multinational came in and has cornered the market They buy these things cheap, do a little bit of cleaning, and then they export them and make a lot of money. We're not even sure that the money ever gets back to Nigeria. So this is an opportunity. We're talking about investment. I also want to talk about the neighboring state here of Nasarawa State. You only need to go there during the mango season. You come to the roadside, you see farmers bringing succulent mangoes to the roadside to sell. Because of the weight, some of them just leave it there at the end of the day if there are no buyers. These are essential ingredients for the making of concentrate for our beverages. But then you have Nigerian manufacturers preferring to go to Brazil to spend our scarce foreign exchange to import concentrate that we could easily make with oranges in Benue, pineapple in Edo State, mangoes in Nasarawa State. These are things that we need to consider at such forums. And I think there is a role for the Nigeria Raw Materials Research Council. Any investor who is interested in adding value to our products, I will advise he goes there. I'm not from that agency, but I've been there several times. I have taken foreigners, our counterparts from other places, I've taken them there to see what we have. And if anybody is interested in making value addition to our produce, that is one area one should go to. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to talk about cocoa. Nigeria is one of the big producers in West Africa of cocoa. I was an ambassador of Nigeria to Venezuela. I was concurrently covering Colombia and Ecuador. And these are countries that produce cocoa. And I've seen what they have done to their cocoa. They don't export their cocoa. Colombia and Venezuela now are recognized as chocolate makers in their own right. They have decided not to export the cocoa in their raw form, but to add value and make more money. You go to Colombia and you see exotic cocoa that has been turned into chocolate. I was also fortunate to serve in Belgium as a diplomat at the Nigerian embassy. And I went to all corners of Belgium. I've not seen a single cocoa tree, but Belgium makes billions of dollars from the cocoa that they import from Nigeria and other West African countries. Why can't we do it here? These are some of the challenges. And we know that in the diaspora we have Nigerians, brilliant Nigerians, who can make things happen. Why can't we take that challenge? It is there. You see, there isn't a single cocoa tree in the whole of Belgium. I've been around. But go to any big shop you go to in Belgium, you see it. In Switzerland, they make billions of dollars, more than what we make from our oil, believe me. So these are challenges for us at this foreign place. Ladies and gentlemen, investment summit all along through its maiden edition in 2018. We have always been there, and will always be there with this initiative as a very important initiative. Our participation over the years was as a result of the objectives of the NDIS, which is in tandem with the DTS mandate of facilitating the utilization of the diaspora expertise of Africa's development. In my agency, we have a database of Nigerians in diaspora, and I think I will use this opportunity to call for those that have not registered to also register, so that when we need people with the relevant skills and the knowledge, we could call on them. It is therefore in line with our diaspora advocacy program Besides our participation in the planning and organization of the Diaspora Investment Summit, that the DTCA has undertaken several other programs, including the Diaspora Bond Symposium, the Think Nigeria Diaspora Symposium series, as well as participation in the planning and organization of the annual Nigerian Diaspora Day celebration from inception, to mention just a few. We at the DTCA continue to look forward to collaborate, look forward to collaborative working relationship in driving all-around the development of our country and the entire African continent, including economic development through investment by specialized investors, particularly among the diaspora. I therefore wish all participants a fruitful and productive investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for Director General, DTCA, Ambassador Rabiu Dangari. Now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the camera will move to the representative of the EU Head of Missions, Nigeria and ECOWAS, Eleni Zegzeglido. A round of applause for her.
I can stand. I cannot walk. That's that. Well, I will stand on the existing protocol. I'm bringing you greetings from the Ambassador to Nigeria of the European Union to Nigeria and ECOWAS. It is a pleasure to be here with you today, and thank you very much for the invitation. The EU has had a comprehensive approach to migration for the past 10 years and has already established partnerships with all agencies in Nigeria that have a mandate in migration. We cannot be talking about migration and development if we do not involve Nigerians in diaspora. And that is not just because of remittances. It is also because of the enormous potential that Nigerians in diaspora and diaspora members have for national development back in the country. In the health care sector, in the ICT sector, investment for development sector, construction, so on and so forth. It is always very inspiring to listen to the chairman, who has my profound admiration and respect. And when she talks about the huge potential of diaspora, it is not just because of development in the country, but also when she talked about the real people that are looking for real opportunities, and the real people that investments would be touching back on the ground, the people that are looking for greener pastures abroad, and the people that will be avoiding irregular migration paths in case investments will be back in the country. It is also very inspiring to listen to Ambassador Rabiu Dangari, who was one of the first people that I met back in my early years in Nigeria, when he talks about the unleashed potential of Nigeria for development and the role that diaspora organizations will have in order to unlock that potential. I would like to appreciate all the organizers and NIDCOM for this initiative. We have been supporting NIDCOM from our side when it comes to the development of the National Diaspora Policy and the action plan of the National Diaspora Policy, and we are looking forward to more collaboration in the future and the future financial instruments that we already have put in place in order to support all agencies involved in migration governance in the country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Eleni Zegzeglido. The next name is another tongue twister, is, as you heard, from Honorable Abike Dabiri. He is also a Nigerian, but from India, a Nigerian from India who has become family. Please welcome the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, His Excellency Sri G. Balasubramanian. Namaste.
That's a new name that I have. Thank you. Let me also stand on the Abike Dabiri Ereva, OON, represented by Deputy Governor of Ondo State, President of the US Africa Chamber of Commerce, Sir Dr. Joe Madu, DG Directorate of Technical Cooperation on Africa, Ambassador Rabin Dagiri MNI, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and Nigerians in diaspora who are present over here. I'm very happy to be part of this particular event, the 5th Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit in Abuja. Today's event holds special significance as it encapsulates the strong desire of the Nigerian government, especially NIDCOM, to engage with the huge Nigerian diaspora in the economic growth of Nigeria. The invaluable contribution of the diaspora in promoting a country's economic growth while creating inroads abroad cannot be overemphasized. Our own experience in India with our diaspora is an example. We have nearly 32 million diaspora spread around the world, and they have been instrumental not only in branding India as a friend to those countries, owing to their work ethics and contribution to the adopted country, but have also contributed extensively to the economic growth of India. Last year saw about $87 billion remittances from the Indian diaspora to the Indian economy. Over a period of years, this diaspora, with generations passing, they have not only excelled in their work and have risen in their companies and places where they have been working, but have also risen in the social and political circles in their adopted countries. Indian CEOs of major corporations such as Alphabet, Google, Microsoft, IBM, MasterCard, so on and so forth, are well respected. Many doctors in UK, US, and many people here in Nigeria, and the list goes on. Nigeria also has similar strengths with its diaspora, estimated at about 15 to 17 million, who have, as my previous speaker had also mentioned, remitted about $20 billion last year. Nigerians constitute the majority of health workers in the UK and have produced diaspora gems like Ms. Ikojo Iweala, the WTO head, and the heavyweight boxing champion Frank Anthony Joshua. Like India, Nigerian diaspora has also risen in the social and political circles in different parts of the world. The winning of nearly 8 US legislative positions by persons of Nigerian origin is a case in point. Most importantly, I am also proud of the Indian diaspora in Nigeria that have made Nigeria as their home because of the hospitality and the welcoming attitude of Nigeria for the past many decades. And they have been contributing, supporting the growth of Nigerian economy too. There are about 135 Indian companies, and they have invested about $19.3 billion in Nigerian economy and have been providing thousands of jobs over a period of nearly 4 decades. India, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to mention this also, that India has taken over the presidency of G20 just today and will host it. Thank you. And will host it from December 2022 to November 2023. Owing to the special relationship that we have with Nigeria, India has invited Nigeria as a guest country for the G20 meetings in India during our presidency. And I'm sure that this would certainly increase and enhance the cooperation in all matters, including on investment and other things. All these indicate that India and Nigeria have much in common, not only amongst themselves. We are natural partners, and also we have good diaspora, that our cooperation in diaspora engagement policies would help the cause of the developing world, which is seeking an equitable world order. In India, the government had placed great emphasis on cultivating and strengthening its links with diaspora and co-opting them in the national development agenda. Various schemes to engage them both socially as well as economically have been instituted by the government. We have various schemes like No India program for the youth of the next generation people who have been there, pilgrimage programs for the elderly to rediscover the youth, the Diaspora Day, which is a biennial event which helps converge the government, diaspora, and industry, exactly like the 5th Nigerian Diaspora Investment Scheme meeting. And we have a special award called as the Pravasi Bharati Award. which are given to notable persons of Indian origin and Indian diaspora, and who have helped enhancing the relations of India with their respective countries. The Pravasi Bharati Divas, or the Diaspora Day, serves as a center of networking and learning about India's flagship programs and participating in its progress. I'm also happy to inform that India has extended her invitation to the head of NIDCOM, Madam Abika Daberi Ereva, to visit along with a delegation to the next edition of the Diaspora Day that we are going to have in the month of January 2023, so that we can look forward to sharing and learning from each other's experience. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to address this prestigious event, and I wish, while I congratulate the organizers for doing it so well, I also wish the event all success and future endeavors of this program to also be continued success. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Thank you, much appreciated. Another round of applause for His Excellency Shriji. Thank you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have online, joining us online now for goodwill message, we welcome President, U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce, Sir Dr. Joe Madu. He's joining us online. Sir Madu, you're welcome, sir. Please give him a round of applause.
Each and every one of the participants, and I beg to stand on the existing protocol. My name is Dr. Sergio Madu. I serve as the gatekeeper, yes, the Megad of the U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce. As a Chamber of Commerce, we distinguish ourselves among all chambers globally by anchoring on holistic, human and natural capital optimization, besides being a conduit for trade and investment. I commend my sister, Lady Diaspora. Yes, I'm a little bit disruptive because I hear Mama Diaspora, but I'm going to call her Lady Diaspora. She has been very, very phenomenal. Her energy is just infectious. So I thank each and every one of you, particularly also each and every one of you that have invested time to be part and parcel of this gathering globally. The U.S. Africa Chamber of Commerce will also tell you that when COVID hit 2 years ago, we changed our paradigm. We initiated the global diaspora for economic and holistic empowerment. And our definition of diaspora expanded beyond nationality. When the Buckingham Palaces were built, they did not care about nationality. When the White House was built, they did not care about nationality. Just like the Honorable Ambassador from India, my brother, had just said, it takes all of us to make it happen. Just like Dr. Brooks have mentioned, it takes all of us to make it happen. The diasporas, from people like Dr. Odidi in Canada, or Daniela Corporation in Canada, Dr. Omotoshe in Poland, Adebaji in Ukraine, UK, and what have you. These folks represent only 10% of the diaspora asset. I am very intrigued whenever investment is mentioned on this platform. We think it's all about money. It makes me wonder, are we forgetting the other factors of production that Nigeria is blessed with? Time is a factor. Human resources is a factor. Yes, capacity is a factor, very critical factor. Data is now king. Yes, data mining, like Daniela Corporation of Canada can bring on board and take mining and the revenue that it generates internally and externally that can sediment all the way to the grassroots for the common man is very exemplary. All I can tell you is this: members of the Nigerian and global diaspora for economic and holistic empowerment, we are not advocates for listing all our problems and challenges. We even go beyond profiling solutions. It's about implementation adding the building blocks that makes a difference or takes us to building the pyramid. The question to each and every one of us here is, what have you done lately to add a building block to our problems? Are we leveraging our assets? Have we identified all our assets? Are we marginalizing our assets? Historically, the diaspora has been very phenomenal. From the biblical days, from Mecca to Medina, in bringing about change. If we're not tapping into it, we are losing out. Like just like Dr. Brooks said, we have numerous amounts of diasporas of all colors and creed all over the world who are willing and ready to make a difference. I commend the government for the initiative to strengthen the economy. The National Development Plan Agenda 2050 is commendable. The Strategic Revenue Initiative is commendable. The Accelerating Revenue Mobilization Reforms are commendable. Economic Sustainability Plan are commendable. The Financial Acts and Fiscal Policies are commendable. And the list goes on. But the critical thing is this: the government provides a conducive environment for investors. 80% of capacity building is left for the SMEs. Dependency on the government to do it all is a misnomer. I call upon you that I appreciate the opportunity to share these ideas. I know time is of the essence. The folks that I represent globally, the diasporas, they believe in implementation, and some of the governors on board here and some of the states on board probably have seen an example of what we can do in bringing this together, including from India to Nigeria and vice versa, from Ukraine to Nigeria, from Poland, from Australia, and so on and so forth. And what I'm saying is not very particular about our organization. All diasporas are capable of increasing and enhancing all that we do, as long as those projects are bankable. If we can show good example and good harvest from the seed we are planting right now by coming together, we're only planting a seed by coming together, but we have to nourish it, fertilize it, and the end point is the harvest. I thank you so much for your time, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, next on the program, we should have a presentation. But just before the presentation, permit me to welcome a short remark by Director General, African Development Bank, AFDB, Country Department in Nigeria. I want to welcome Mr. Lamin Barrow for a brief remark. Please, a round of applause for him.
Good morning, everyone. Please allow me to stand on existing protocol. Your Excellency, Honorable Dr. Dabiri Arewa, Chairman and CEO of NITCOM, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to join you for this symposium. It's a conference that focuses on optimizing investment opportunities for national development. I think this theme resonates very strongly with the special agro-industrial processing zones that the African Development Bank, together with our partners, the International Fund for Agricultural Development and the Islamic Development Bank, are supporting the federal government of Nigeria to implement. It represents a major flagship program of the bank being rolled out in 25 African countries for an investment on the bank's own account of around $1.1 billion. Specifically for the Nigeria program, which is being implemented in phases. Phase 1 is estimated at around $538 million and will cover 7 states, namely Ogun, Oyo, Kwara, Imo, Cross River, Kaduna, Kano, and the Federal Capital Territory. So SAPZs present a great investment opportunity for the diaspora population. My colleague will make a presentation to give you more details about the SAPZ, but essentially what I want to underscore that it is being implemented at the state level. So it's quite good to see states like Ondo being presented today in terms of their investment opportunities and potentials. Of course, we expect that the SAPZs will be ramped up. Phase 2, we will be working together with the federal government, particularly the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and the states, because already about 19 other states have expressed interest to participate in this program. And essentially, it has to do with development of value chains. I think some of the earlier speakers, Ambassador Dagere of NTCA, has also mentioned what his own perspectives and insights from Venezuela in terms of cocoa. And this is essentially what SAPZs are going to do in Nigeria, to develop value chains for key strategic crops and livestock products, so that Nigeria's competitiveness is enhanced, but also the needs of the domestic market, as well as opportunities under the African Free Trade Area can be harnessed. It is being developed on the principle of a public sector enabled but private sector driven approach. So the private sector has a very key role to play, in addition to the complementary roles of both the federal and the state governments to provide the regulatory framework, to provide the fiscal and investment incentives, whilst the private sector investors and actors, whether they are service providers, agro-dealers, aggregators, the agripreneurs, can invest. Essentially, these SAPZs are targeting peri-urban and rural areas, so that we concentrate infrastructure in these zones and provide end-to-end kind of de-risking support and services that can allow banks and financial institutions to be more aggressive in their lending, because in a de-risk environment, the probabilities of default are greatly reduced. And of course, strong linkages to smallholder farmers, to the anchor investors and other operators in the ecosystem, so that they are assured of markets. And essentially, at the end of the day, we want to be able to transform the rural areas from being zones of misery to zones of prosperity. The SAPZ program was launched on 24th October, high-level launch by His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by His Excellency, the Vice President. And then we had a dedicated session the next day on 25th October with the strategic partners and investors, where we had the opportunity to go into more depth as to how the private sector can take advantage and harness opportunities on the SAPZs. I would like to reaffirm our strong commitment to work with NITCOM under your very dynamic and able leader, Dr. Dabire, to work on how we can harness the talents, the resources, and the interests of the Nigeria diaspora, which I believe is Nigeria's best asset, not only for Nigeria, but to the African continent. Because without the diaspora, say where Nigeria goes, Africa goes, but of course, where the diaspora goes, that's where Nigeria goes. And we have many interesting cases and efforts that have been made to not only innovate but also to contribute to the country's development. I would like to call for great partnerships. I note from your program yesterday that there were pitching sessions. And I would just like to briefly mention a complementary flagship program that is being implemented here in Nigeria called the Investment in Digital and Creative Enterprises. And through this program, in fact, the main component of this program is to establish a venture fund, venture capital investments to support startups in technology and tech-enabled businesses. So this presents an opportunity for many of the representatives and actors from the diaspora community. And we are available to discuss in more detail how maybe the diaspora can not only invest in this fund, but also to benefit as startup and early stage growth companies, especially in the digital and creative industries. But of course, the applications apply across various sectors, including agribusiness. So let me conclude by congratulating the chairman and the members of the NICOM and the diaspora community for this very, very timely conference, also which has matured, has come of age, and provides a very robust platform to engage with the diaspora population and also to harness their contribution towards national development efforts. So I wish you a very successful conference and look forward to strengthening our partnership. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him. Thank you very much, Mr. Lamin Barrow. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a quick recognition of the representative of the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, Mrs. Okuku Olanike, here with us. Thank you very much for being here. Also a quick recognition of our sponsors, Coronation Merchant Bank, and of course the First Bank of Nigeria, Quest. Thank you very much for being sponsors and also having representatives here with us. We appreciate you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from Mr. Lamin Barrow, we have now a special presentation on agro-industrial processing zones, SAPZs, programs in Nigeria. And to make this presentation, we invite Tari Karikari, Chief Agro-Industry Officer, AFDB. Please welcome him with a round of applause. Can we have the slides, please?
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Please permit me to stand on the existing protocols to make this presentation on the special agro-industrial processing zones. On behalf of Professor Oyebanji, the senior advisor to the President of African Development Bank, who until this morning was scheduled to be here, but due to some intervening happenings has had to leave for Lagos. I would say that I'm very personally excited about this because I think Nigeria is at the brink of transformation, and I think the SAPZ presents to us a unique opportunity for such. I will speak to a few slides, about 10 slides, and these slides will try to bring us to a common understanding about what the SAPZ is about, and then a little bit of information of what the Nigerian program is earmarked to be like, with the expectation that this will create an appetite for us to further deep dive on this with our individual selves and also collectively to see the opportunities that are there and then harness these opportunities. The Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zone, SAPZ for short, is designed to concentrate agro-processing activities within areas of high agricultural potential. It's bringing together agricultural producers, processors, aggregators, and distributors to operate in one vicinity for increased productivity and then competitiveness. The concept so designed has the key goals as enhancing productivity, reduce post-harvest losses, reduce cost of operations, and increase value addition. And the key outcomes generally includes reduce food imports, assured food security, nutrition at low and stable prices, boost revenue for agricultural exports, create wealth for rural farming communities, create new sustainable jobs for especially the youth, enhance hope, reduce recklessness and crime, and then revival of stranded public and private sector funded assets.